The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Once again, we're so glad you joined us. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. We have a great real estate radio adventure, no matter where you're listening, right here in Houston, Texas, or beyond, as we've assembled super professionals and interesting people right here on the show. First, we're going to talk with Hannah Harmond. She is an attorney at law. The firm is Steele, Page, and Madeley. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have somebody here to talk about the legal profession, what's going on in real estate, and all those great things. First of all, let's tell people about your firm, Steele, Page, and Madeley.
Yes, so our firm has been in Conroe for the last 40 years. It was founded by Jim Steele and Bob Page. Jim Steele has passed away now, and Bob Page just retired, but we're still going strong.
And as far as right there in Conroe, for those that are listening outside of Houston, kind of northwest of the center of the town, but let's tell people as far as geographically where you're helping people as you are north of Houston, basically.
Sure. We primarily help with Montgomery County. We do some Harris County, some San Jacinto County, but primarily Montgomery. And
when you're helping people, and primarily you're also working in the real estate profession, you're as far as your legal work, but give us an idea of some of the common things that you're doing. As we think about real estate, there are so many details in every turn. Let's tell people what you're doing legally to help in the profession.
Sure. So I like to call ourselves glorified paper pushers because we do all of the paperwork behind the scenes. So we work with title companies, banks, lenders, property owners to draft any documents that they need to do to get across the closing table. So we work with Stewart Title, we work with multiple banks, and we do a lot of curative issues too. So if there's something that there's a cloud on title and you can't close on your property, we assist with that as well.
So let's take that as an example. If there is a cloud, let's tell people what a cloud would be as far as a cloud on title.
Absolutely. Whenever you open title with the title company for Stewart Title, you get a title commitment, and there is a page on there called Schedule C. On Schedule C, it will tell you if you have any liens on your property, which are mortgage company or a mortgage lien, or an abstract of judgment, which means you went to court and you have a judgment lien against your property. And we help to clear those title issues up. Or if someone's passed away in the previous chain of title, so a previous property owner has passed away, we help draft the documents basically to get title into the current owner's name.
And without getting into too much detail, and probably each situation's different, but how do you clear up the cloud?
Sure.
So, I mean, there's certain steps, I guess.
Yeah, there's a few different documents we can help clear up a cloud. So, for example, a mortgage lien, we draft a release of lien, and that basically just says that there was a mortgage note taken out on the property, and since the property is being sold off, we're releasing that lien from the property so you have, quote, clear title to sell your property. If someone passed away previously, we can draft what's called an affidavit of heirship if their only asset was real property, and we can use that to say these are the heirs of the deceased and this is who will take title moving forward to sell the property.
The legal profession is fascinating, isn't
Yes.
it, Hannah? I mean, I guess that's why the TV shows are popular and things like that. But what was it that attracted you to say, hey, I want to be in the legal profession, and especially in real estate?
Absolutely. So my grandfather was county commissioner of Grimes County, and growing up, I would go to Commissioner's Court and watch Commissioner's Court growing up, which is fascinating stuff for a 10-year-old. But I absolutely loved it, and completely honest, I was enthralled by it. And so I
Shouldn't
watched.
you be in school?
Yeah,
Here at court?
well, it was over the summer.
It was
over the summer.
Okay,
and
summer.
so I would go to Beat Ice, Texas, and I would go watch Commissioner's Court in Grimes County, and I just fell in love with it. I mean, I said, I really want to go into the legal profession, but my entire family's in real estate. So I said, going to do real estate law. And so that's where I went, and that's how I got here.
And speaking of your father, who's in real estate, he was on the show. Let's say hi to him and tell people his name.
Hi, Dad. My dad is Jimmy Green, and he is with Green & Associates Real Estate Services in Willis, Texas.
He's a good guy, too.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's all right. So what are some of the other things that are common issues in your work with title companies or with individuals also can reach out to you if they have a problem in the real estate world or even if they want a will, right?
Absolutely. And so we do assist with estate planning, so wills, trust agreements, power of attorneys. Something that's actually kind of niche for what I recommend is anyone who's going off to college. You're over the age of 18, and so I recommend their parents get a power of attorney over their children going to college so you can make medical decisions. And so that's something small, but it's something we help with that can be pretty beneficial down the road. Wills, like I said, I think everyone needs a will. A lot of people put it off and say, oh, well, I'll get to it. And a little bit of trouble in the front will help your family down the road for sure.
Interesting. I do a lot of research on this show. Many people don't know that, but that's one of the things I saw this morning is your word to go out about people over 18. I saw that you had a Facebook post on that very thing.
I did. I think it's really important. I had a family friend whose daughter got sick and she didn't have a power of attorney. And so she had to get one drafted, and then she was eventually able to make medical decisions on her daughter's behalf. And so it's really important, but it's something that's often overlooked.
Well, it's easy to overlook these things because life is so busy. We have so many things to do in our jobs and our lives, taking care of kids. And then, I should make a will.
Yes.
Okay. That's just one other thing. And then when you're talking about someone that's 18 to care for them in this legal way, that's a whole nother issue. But if we do nothing else today, I want to embellish because I think it is important. If you're out there listening, whether you're here in Houston or not, just to have a will.
Absolutely.
A trust, a will, get it done for your loved ones. It's important.
Absolutely. And there are other alternatives to going to a law firm. There's trustandwill.com. There's LegalZoom now. I do recommend having an attorney look over those documents because I've had some people not properly fund a trust. So when you create a trust agreement, you have to have some sort of asset for that trust. And that's where having an attorney looking over those documents helps too. But if you can't afford an attorney fee to completely draft from beginning to end, then have an attorney review them. And I think that's really beneficial.
We're talking with Hannah Harmond. The law firm is Steele, Page, and Madeley. Hannah, let's tell people the difference between a will and a trust, basically.
Sure. A will have to be probated. And so a will is a piece of paper until it goes to probate. Probate court will then publish that will in the county records, and so it becomes public record. With the trust, and then probate court will appoint an executor to an estate to carry out the wishes of the deceased person's will. Whereas with the trust agreement, you appoint a trustee. That trustee carries out the trust duties throughout their duration of their life, and then you create a successor trustee to take over when that first trustee passes away, and all of those trust assets are private. So it doesn't go into any public record or whatnot, and so there's some continuity there that a will doesn't provide.
And you know about all these things, and your firm is helping people every day doing this.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
As far as there are so many changes, certainly in real estate, but how much of your work in your preparation and research and things, how much of it is keeping up with either new legal requirements or new legal issues that are new or some that have gone away? How much does that happen?
Quite frequently. So we are required to do CLE, which is continuing legal education, once a year, and so we can keep up with new laws that go into effect each year. I actually have a case pending with the district clerk of Montgomery County right now that when I filed the case, the law was not in my favor, and the law changed September 1st, and it's now in my favor. So keeping up with all of that it's outcome derivative, so it definitely helps keeping up with it.
That's a lot, really, to pay attention to all these little things that are happening, right?
Yes, sir.
That's why you're the star attorney.
Hey, I'll take that title.
Absolutely. What are some of the other things we should know, Hannah, before we close this segment?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the things you should know is that I think a lot of people are intimidated by the word attorney or going to a law firm, but just going to take a consultation and talk to an attorney. We offer free consultations, and so if we can't help you, then we'll get you a referral who can. But I think there's the stigma that attorneys cost a lot of money, and if you just come in for a free consultation, we'll be willing to work with you.
Well, if you have a legal issue, you probably should spend the money for sure, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And as far as you look ahead here, we're finishing out 2025, 2026. Is there any legislation we should know about that relates to real estate or any other things that happen that might be happening?
Yeah, not that I am aware of off the top of my head. One piece that what I was referring to with the district clerk is fraudulent deeds on land as a big issue right now. And so that law just went into effect September 1st, and it's in favor of property owners now. And so it makes the process a lot easier to get that title back into your name versus having to go through a lot of other issues.
And I would think to do what you do successfully, you have to be very organized, do your research. How do you give us an idea for those in any profession how you stay organized?
Yeah, absolutely. I have probably 800 to-do list. I have a screen.
There's 800 things on your to-do list?
Well, I have 800 different to-do lists also.
Okay.
And so I have on my phone screen, I have reminder apps. I have a physical planner. I have a planner on my computer. And so keeping all that keeps me on track, which is a lot.
Sounds good. Hannah Harmon, Steele, Page, and Madeley. Hannah, let's tell people how they can reach out to your firm if they need help, whether it's another title company or an individual or a family that needs some legal help, and time to get the will, right?
Absolutely. You can give us a call at 936-756-1114. 936-756-1114.
Hannah, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bill.
As we continue, let's talk to Francisco Martinez. He is with Corcoran Genesis. Francisco, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. How are you doing?
Doing great. How's the real estate world at Corcoran Genesis? Let's tell people about the company.
It's good. It's going good. So Corcoran is a global brokerage. Corcoran Genesis is a little newer to Houston. The original was based out in Katy. It's about a year old, and we just this year moved into the Woodlands area.
So the Woodlands, Francisco, we hear so much about the Woodlands. There's an article about a company moving in, all these great things that are happening. Give people an idea, like a couple bullet points of the action real estate-wise that's happening in the Woodlands area.
So the Woodlands, it consistently ranks one of the best places to live in the entire U.S. It's convenient, family-friendly. You have shopping, restaurants, a lot of outdoor activities, things to do. So it's very sought after as far as the real estate industry.
And then right now, whether it's there in the Woodlands or the surrounding areas, are you helping more buyers or more sellers at this moment in the last couple months?
So I would say the market is more buyer heavy, but I've always been more of a listing agent. That's just something I kind of fell into. So my business tends to be right at about 50-50.
It's a nice balance, isn't it?
It is.
So when you're let's say someone's an individual or a family and they're moving across town and they want to go to the Woodlands, what are some of the things that you do to prepare the buyer for the real estate adventure up there?
So I always sit down with them. We look at, okay, are we trying to stay in a close proximity to work, school, kind of what their criteria is? Do they like to be outside more? Do they want to be just little things based on their family? What exactly are they looking for?
And there's so much in terms of growth when we think about Montgomery County, the Woodlands. It's a lot of action up there, right?
Yes, sir. So the Woodlands is surrounded by Conroe, Willis, Spring. So you can move into an area of Houston very close to the Woodlands and not pay Woodlands prices. You can live 5 minutes south, 5 minutes north, and you get all of the amenities of the Woodlands area without paying the Woodlands prices.
So then what we're saying here, the Woodlands cost more than some of these other areas that are pretty close to it.
Correct. The Woodlands is on, let's say, the east side or west side of 45. Just on the other side of the freeway, you can get a very similar property for a lower amount.
Less. So then switching to the selling side, and let's again take the Woodlands. If you were talking to someone that is going to list their home in the Woodlands, what are some of the things in terms of how long it stays on the market? How do you prepare the seller to put a home for sale there in the Woodlands?
So with that, we would sit down and kind of look at the specific pocket of the Woodlands, just to get a good idea about average days on market. And then we do provide a very like in-depth marketing, like essentially strategy. So we don't just take pictures, put a sign in the yard. We do a lot of aerial pictures, virtual staging, 3D Matterports, like anything and everything we can do to market your property, we're going to do that.
It's funny, you beat me to it, because I was going to say in my research with you, I noticed a lot of aerial photography, or at least a couple of 4 or 5 pictures of a certain home, wherever it was, and there it was with the aerial photography.
I think it's a great selling point. I had a listing appointment last Friday. This was a relist. They tried to sell their home in spring. It didn't sell. And I mentioned to them, hey, right down the street, you have a great shopping center. There's Target, Ulta, restaurants, things like that. But the previous realtor didn't do any aerial pictures. And then also he didn't market the surrounding area, which I think drone photography does a great job with that.
Right. Google Earth can only do so much, but the real life picture, because I know people and myself, if I'm looking at real estate, yeah, the house is important. Updates, all those things are so important, but to me, 50% of whether you buy or are interested in a property is what's around it, what's next to it, what's behind it. Correct. Where are the stores, where's the forest, all those sorts of things. Super important.
And so this particular home, right on 99, so great like convenience to the Grand Parkway, I-45, Exxon Mobil's right across the street, all the shopping, great school district. So instead of just selling the home, you do have to sell the surrounding areas, the amenities, the school district, the entire package.
And with Corcoran and Genesis Group that you have, what are some of the things that because they are outside of Houston as well, and when, I guess you have meetings periodically?
Yes, we do have meetings every month.
What are some of the things that they talk about as to what's happening in other areas, other markets than Houston that you can pick up on and say, hey, I could use that information?
So they do a lot as far as marketing. So say Corcoran's in Cabo, it's in Florida, it's in California. So a lot of people are in New York mostly. And so people are moving from those more expensive states to Texas. So they do a lot of marketing here in Texas to entice people to come to Houston.
So you're getting some good information there with this group. As far as getting into real estate to begin with, what was your motivation to say, man, I think I want to be a realtor?
Gotcha. So it's actually a bad transaction with our real estate agent. So my wife and I were in healthcare for over, a decade or so. I got a referral from a family member for an agent. She started to help us, but I ended up, researching, finding my own home, negotiating the deal. And so after getting a little taste of that, I was like, you know what, I could do this. Like I said, background in healthcare, I feel like I've always been a servant at heart, and that's something that I do. And so I kind of just translated that from healthcare to real estate. I can't count all the times, but there have been many times where I've asked the same question, and many people say, I didn't have a great experience, so I thought I'd get into the profession, and here you are again saying the same story, because apparently there are some people that aren't doing a good enough job out there. That's why we need you, Francisco Martinez, right? Yes, sir.
No doubt about it. So as far as the real estate transactions go, you're dealing with buyers and sellers. One of the things I notice is that every transaction is a little bit different, right? Mm-hmm. So give us an idea, maybe a story or two of something as you're helping someone, maybe from another state or so.
So people, let's just say you're moving here from Florida. You don't really know anything about Spring, the Woodlands, Conroe, Houston in general. So I do like to kind of sit down and explain the particular areas. A lot of my reviews are, he was patient, he was kind, he was informative. I do kind of treat that person as, I would say, to make sure they get the best deal. So I've gotten things like, he treated my money as if it was his money, because I want people to get the best kind of bang for their buck in the best school district, the best home. I'm not just going to, you're coming here, let me show you a couple houses, and I'm not going to sell you a house that I don't believe is good for you in a bad area either.
So, and that's one of the great things as far as being patient and kind. You can't do enough of that. That's super awesome. And also, you mentioned your wife. She happens to be here today with us.
She is.
and her name is Daisy, right? Hey, Daisy.
Yes.
So Daisy's over there, and one of the things she does I found fascinating. You could talk for her if you would. She's in the profession where it's what is called the drip supplements. So what is that called?
So it's IV hydration.
IV hydration. Okay.
She was a nurse, same thing for many years. She, went to school, always dreamt about being a nurse, became a nurse. And then she kind of felt like, hey, I can do more with this. And so she took that step of faith and started her own business, and been going strong about 3 years now.
What's the name of the company?
It is Vida Wellness and Aesthetics.
VIDA?
VIDA. So it's Spanish for life.
Right. Wellness and aesthetics. So for those that I've had the opportunity only once to get this intravenous drip, right? And the supplements, there's different things they do with it, but it's pretty fascinating how it's grown in popularity in the last 3-4 years.
Yeah. We were talking about just our generation and the next generation. There's a big push towards wellness, fitness, Pilates, non-alcoholic beverages. People are just wanting to live healthier lives. Smoking's kind of gone out the window, things like that. So this is all of that, diet, eating right, but also keeping hydration is key.
So if your house has been on the market for a long time, maybe get the
you
seller's
need the Corcoran
punch.
drip is what you need.
The Corcoran drip with Francisco Martinez. That's a good idea.
And essentially that is what it is. We take a stale listing that kind of went expired or terminated,
revitalize
and we do everything to revitalize it and get it sold.
Well, Francisco, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
I would say when you're shopping for an agent, definitely check out reviews, ask a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to, interview multiple people and see who fits best for you.
Well, let's tell people how they can reach you.
So you can give me a call. My number is 713-823-5217. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram as well as Francisco Martinez Realtor.
Phone number again is
713-823-5217.
Francisco, thanks for being with us.
All right, thank you, Bill.
He's back. The company is the Loan Signing Agency. The president of the company is Gregory Gray. Greg, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill, how are you today?
We're doing good here, and let's tell people the Loan Signing Agency. It's an interesting name for any company, but what does your company, the Loan Signing Agency, do for people?
Despite what people think, it has nothing to do with loans directly. We provide mobile notaries to title companies so that when people can't make it into title or don't want to make it into title to sign on their home, they can have a mobile notary come to them wherever they may be.
Because that's right. I think the first time we met, I'm thinking with the word loan. It's probably, here's a person that's another mortgage professional that that I'm going to ask what's the rate, but I'm not going to do that here today.
Yeah, no,
we don't care what
we don't do mortgages. We're not lenders. We're not licensed attorneys.
But yet, there you are helping people in a tremendous way. So let's get into some of the details. When you say that you're a mobile, helping people sign documents not at the title company, right?
Correct.
So someone could be somewhere else. They're going to close on a home, but they can't get there, and like you said, or they may not want to get there that particular day.
Right.
Give us a couple bullet points of how that works. Here's a real estate transaction at a title company, at a Stewart Title company somewhere.
Right.
They're getting great service with our tremendous professionals right there.
Right.
And in the meantime, at what point would they call you? What comes up to where they say, I better call Greg? Because I can't be there or I don't want to be there.
Absolutely. Well, I'm in the community advocating for this. I tell people to work with their agent as soon as it goes under contract. Let title know.
The real estate agent.
Let title know that you may not be able to make it to closing. But most of the time, people are not thinking that far ahead. But you need to give your escrow officer as much time to plan this as possible, because there's a little bit of lag time. We've got to wait for FedEx to get documents back to title so that it can fund. So you need to give them at least a few days if possible.
So then you come into play. We've given them a few days, and then what do you do next with your company?
Well, once we get the order from title, we will go out and we'll look in our network to see who we've already vetted and who is credentialed properly to do this closing in the area where these people are needing to sign. And then if we don't have someone already in that area, then we start our process of not only vetting their credentials, but interviewing them. And because time is of the essence, we have to do all of this very quickly. But thank goodness for technology. It allows us to get all this data.
So technology, and you're enlisting the help of others in other places. And when we say that, as we started before the show, I used to think you're just doing this here in Houston, but let's tell people the scope of your work.
Yes, sir. Well, currently we have clients in Florida, Tennessee, Texas, and Nevada. We have notaries in all 50 states. And so we can actually do a closing anywhere in the continental United States. Well, not continental, but the actual United States.
So then let's say someone is in Tennessee and they bought a home here in Houston.
Right.
They can't be here. You can help them.
I can help them. No matter where they are in Tennessee, I have somebody who can go there that will lead them through the documents, and they will leave the table feeling good, even if it's their kitchen table.
And many times it probably is.
It is, especially for refinances.
Interesting aspect of the real estate profession, Greg. How did you even get into this?
I kind of backdoored into it as well. When I purchased my first home, it was with a mobile notary back in 2009. Had no idea what was going on at the time, and like Francisco, didn't have necessarily the best of experiences. And then when an opportunity came up down the road and it tied into my love of real estate and serving people, I jumped on it. And, well, the rest is history.
And how many years ago was that?
That was 6 years ago.
So 6 years ago, as you became part of this facet of the real estate world, how have you seen this grow? Is there more of a need now, or is it the same as it was when you got into it?
No, it was kind of sleepy at the very beginning, but COVID pushed everybody over the edge. And then as our society's become more mobile, the remote online notary has made this even a much more needed service.
So then right now your business is, I'm guessing, pretty good.
Pretty good. Yes, sir. We're handling, thousands and thousands of transactions a year.
And then in order to market this service, your company, the Loan Signing Agency, as you market it, I know you're like at Stewart Title periodically with like Kevin Davidson and others.
Right.
But what are some of the things you do to make sure that the word is out, that you're getting telling people about your company?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because we're very involved in the community, and we're working towards creating a positive signing experience for everybody that's at the closing table, including people like Kevin Davidson, who's marketing. We work with him quite a bit, but
he's got a degree in marketing.
Yeah, when it comes to marketing, there is no one better. He's
black
a beast.
Belt.
Yes, absolutely. But we everything from sponsoring national title sales training events, which we're doing next week in Reno, Nevada, to working with title insurance companies. We keep in touch with underwriters to find out what issues they're having so that we can train our notaries to be on the lookout for those specific issues. We work with real estate agents, and we sponsor events at brokerages. We're in the space and wanting to be there for our people.
And then ending 2025, 2026, how do you plan for next year to say, okay, we did great this year, how are we going to do even better? What are some of the things that go through your mind as president of the company?
Well, actually, in 2026, we are going to hold our first annual symposium for notaries. It'll be a weekend training where we're actually going over the things that actually matter in the field, not just trying to, how do people make money, but what are the things they really need to worry about and think about? And, like errors and omissions insurance. Most people don't realize their policy may not cover everything that they're doing. So that's one thing that we do. We're going to be covering a lot of different issues because remote online notary is really catching on. It's 40% of our business right now is remote online notary. And so making sure that notaries are prepared for that and are properly educated for that. That's our goal for 25 and 26.
And you mentioned some of the other states. As far as what makes one state reach out to you versus another, is it just the word spread? But I mean, you didn't mention maybe California or.
Well, we're specifically going after states that are most like Texas legally. There are some differences, like Florida requires witnesses, Texas does not when they sign it, when a deed is signed. But we reach out to them. I actually did a road show back in June in Florida, visiting Stewart Title offices in around Orlando and Tampa and on the East Coast.
How long ago was that?
That was June.
June. So what's going on out there in Florida? It's a fascinating market.
It is a fascinating market. They're struggling a little more than Texas is right now. Prices rose faster there because a lot of people flocked there like they did Texas. So they've had a little more headwind this year than we have, but they're still rocking and rolling.
And you're talking about the Orlando area, where a great tourist area, of course.
Oh, an amazing tourist area. And the Stewart Title offices there are nice looking too. Good people. Very good people.
I'll have to go there sometime.
You'll have to. You can go to the Celebration office that's right down there on the south side of Orlando.
Of all things, I was thinking of the plans I'm making here for the next couple of years and things. I'm thinking, man, I have not been to Disney World or any of that for so many decades. And I thought, I probably ought to go to Disney World someday soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, Melbourne's really pretty too. We're on the East Coast.
And now knowing that I could see some Stewart Title offices during or after the trip makes it all more
Absolutely,
attractive.
and smiling faces. It'd be wonderful.
It's going to be awesome. So where's your next road trip, Greg?
Next road trip is in Nevada next week.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. We're going to be up there. We're a sponsor for title sales training with Daryl Turner.
Well, that sounds good. What else should we know, Greg, about the loan signing agency or anything else?
Well, we do more than just real estate. I mean, that is the bulk of our business, but we also work with estate planning. You know, when people work with their attorneys, we do that. We also do a lot of SBA loans. We have lenders and attorneys that we work with that do small business loans. So we do a little bit of everything, but we focus on real estate.
A lot of signing going on.
A lot of signing going on. Lots of ink pens. I'm telling you, blue ink pens. Sign here.
Sounds
but not
good.
there.
But Greg, you've made it crystal clear.
I hope so.
So let's tell people how they can reach you no matter where they are.
No matter where they are.
You're based here in the Houston area, the loan signing agency. Let's tell people how to reach you.
Obviously, we're online. We have a website like everybody else, theloansigningagency.com. You can also go to TLSA4me.com. That'll also get you there. You can reach us at 346-291-7467. That's 346-291-7467.
Greg, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bill. As always, I enjoy it.
Sign here.
Sign there, but not here.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance.
Howdy, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Well, it's interesting. Right before the show, I just ran into you by chance, and the great president, Tom Carpentier of Stewart Insurance.
Yeah, it was nice to see you. Yes.
Impromptu. You never know what's going to happen in the fourth largest city with millions of people. You run into people.
Still a small world.
It's crazy.
Still a small world.
Well, there's signing going on all kinds of documents.
Exactly right.
Even in the insurance world.
We always having people sign. That's correct. Yes.
So that said, I have a feeling the key insurance indicators are going to march on again. Am I correct?
They are. Number 8.
Here we go.
Number 8. So last week we talked about general liability insurance, and I had teased that this week we're going to continue on that, but with a bit of a different flavor. So number 8 on the key insurance indicator is business owners' policies. And what that really does is kind of take that general liability and take it to the next level. So not only is it going to help you, as a general liability policy does with bodily injury and property damage, but it also can help with your business personal property, and in some cases it can help include maybe some business interruption coverage. So if you have a business that does less than 10 million in gross commissionable revenue. So if we're talking about, let's say, for example, a real estate broker, if they do less than 10 million in gross commissionable revenue, and they have less than 100,000 or less than 100 employees, then we can write that business owner's policy. So in a sense, they're getting 2 to 3 policies for the price of one, and in many cases, the premium is going to be less than if they bought the policy separately.
Interesting. It's good to be prepared.
It is. It is. So depending upon the size of business that we're working with, this is one that we'll always consider. And they're with all of these in the series of KIIs, this is a 6+1. So 6 key things plus 1 add-on.
Always a bonus.
Always a bonus. So one, we want to make sure that we've got property coverage. So that's a key element to this. So that could be your business personal property. It could be your contents, your signage, your desks, your computer. So we want to make sure that that business personal property is covered. The general liability aspect of it, again, is important. So that's that third-party coverage. If somebody were to be hurt, let's say at an open house or a showing, or they're visiting, you have a brick and mortar location, and somebody were to be hurt, you can help offset that cost with the bodily injury or the property damage. If you were to damage, let's say, a home in preparation for showing, that's where the general liability comes into place. And in many cases, if you've got a lease for your property, if you're leasing your office, many times the landlord's going to require that you have a general liability. So it's nice to just go ahead and roll that into a business owner's policy, provide you more coverage, and then, as I said earlier, many times can save some money on the premium. So that's critical. Personal injury and advertising. So as we've mentioned here before, in the insurance world, personal injury is not a broken arm, it's a broken heart. So you said something, you've written something that's offended me, that's affected me, affected my ability to do business, affected my ability to buy or sell a home. So if somebody feels like you've done them wrong and you've done it publicly, or there's a copyright issue, then that's where this portion of the policy comes into play. So that's always critical that we have that coverage.
Broken heart coverage.
Broken heart, yes. I mean, it's in our real estate liability class, we talk about, and we give very specific examples about why suits are filed. But really what we tell the guests in our class is, if you remember just 2 words, and the words are they believe. If somebody believes you've done them wrong, they're going to find a way to file a suit. So it's just important that we keep that in mind, that and that's where that personal injury comes into play, that it's not a broken arm, it's a broken heart, that somebody feels like you've done something wrong to them or you've hindered their ability to do something. So that's where that comes into play. A nice one to have is hired non-owned auto. So if a broker uses a lot of rented vehicles for their business, or if their staff uses rented vehicles for their business, or if their staff uses their own vehicles to conduct business, many times a larger broker will want to consider the hired non-owned auto as an additional piece of coverage in that. And then there's some other additional coverages that kind of make sense as well. If you're a title agent, so the independent title agents that we work with that are underwritten by Stewart, they've got data systems and all that they need. So there's a cyber data aspect that can be included. The property management firms, that offsite exposure is even greater for them. So, for example, if they're touring somebody's property and somebody were to get hurt, it could have some coverage there. So that's important for our property management clients. And then, as I said earlier, there's some criteria. Number 6, there's some criteria to that coverage. So, again, if your gross commissionable revenue is under $10 million and your staff is under 100 folks, then we can come about and write that policy.
So many things to think about.
Well, it is, and it's but again, it's important. It just is important to have a great real estate partner, and it's important to have somebody like Greg that provides a service that we all need. And then, a good real estate attorney, you're going to want to have an insurance agent that understands real estate as well. So they're writing policies that are built specifically for your type of real estate business versus just a general policy that may or may not and have the details needed and the intent needed if a claim were to come about.
Well, as I mentioned, be prepared. In the world of personal safety, we hear the expression, keep your head on a swivel, as we're out there in the world for certain dangers and different things that could happen. But in the real estate world and the insurance world, we also have to keep our head on a swivel as to what can happen in that way as well.
Well, it is. I mean, part of it is when we talk about in that risk class, one of the things that we talk about, we look at 8 risks that realtors face every day. And then every day. And then we look at 7 risks, 7 ways that they can minimize those risks right then. I mean, they're very easy tasks that you can step in and take care of. And one of them is just that, paying attention. So half the battle is remembering that those risks are out there. And as long as you're aware of them, there's a better chance that you're going to minimize the chance of something bad happening. But it is something as simple as keeping your head on a swivel and paying attention to the details. And that's why you want to have an outstanding title agency. You want to have an outstanding real estate attorney. You want to have an outstanding realtor, and you want to have an outstanding insurance advisor that understands real estate.
And we reference it every now and then on the show as we talk with realtors, and that is certain TV shows and representations where it looks like it's all, and these are some of the reasons people get into real estate. Oh, everyone's driving a Mercedes. We're selling $12 million homes every day. They make it look so easy, but they don't address the risks that even the high-flying realtors in these big cities and stuff, the kind of risk that they're exposed to, especially at the higher dollar volumes or higher dollar levels, probably the risks are even higher.
They can be, but the risks are still there. You still have to worry about, truly understanding the value of the property and helping your clients understand truly what the value of the property is. You have to be able to recognize the condition of the property, that many times we have blinders when it comes to that this is a house that I raised my family in, and it's a great house, and there's nothing really wrong with it. You need somebody objective to be able to come and share with you, here are some concerns that you need to think about, or I've fallen in love with that house in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, and you need somebody objective to help you say, here's some considerations you need to think about. So those are important. How we utilize social media and advertising is a risk. How we communicate in today's world is a risk. Are we referring folks? How do we go about referring folks? That's a risk. So we look at all different types of risk and then show them ways that we can minimize that through some steps that they can take right away.
Fascinating stuff. John, what else should we know?
Well, if you'd like to be properly insured, and all that means is that you understand the coverage that you have, and you understand the coverage that you don't have. And that fits whether it be your business's needs in today's market or today's world, or it's your family. We can help you with that, because all that means is you understand the coverage that you have and don't have, and you're comfortable with it at that time. So whether it's helping a family with their home, wind, auto, flood, RV, or it's helping a real estate broker with their errors and omissions and cyber liability, we can do that.
Sounds good. What number should they call, John?
866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. They can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com, or they can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
Stewartinsurance.com is fascinating. So much great information is there. The phone number again is
866-798-2827.
Thank you, John Bramlett. And
always
now
a pleasure, Bill.
We talk about our Stewart Title business development officers, there to help real estate professionals far and wide, not only here in Houston, Texas, but far beyond, even in Orlando, sometimes other countries, as we are an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange as STC. But right now, from the Woodlands, she is here. Adeline O'Neill is right here. Adeline, welcome back. It's been a while.
Hey, Bill, it's great to be back.
Well, it's awesome to see you. And also, you're fairly new to Stewart Title, so it's been about how many months now?
About 2 months. Okay. It's been about 2 months now, and it's been great.
Having fun, huh?
I am.
So much to learn and so many great people to get to meet and work with.
It is, yeah. I rep Woodlands and Willis, and they're both 2 great markets, and I've loved everyone I've met so far.
So there you go. Right there, Woodlands and Willis. Let's tell people, Adeline, if they need your help, but you're also supporting the professionals in the area, so they might need some counseling, different kind of things. Let's tell people how they can reach you in the Woodlands and Willis.
Yeah, so same number for the Woodlands and Willis. You can reach me at 832-544-1887, and that's 832-544-1887.
And here you are. The year's winding down. I guess you're already preparing for 2026.
I am. It's going to be a good year.
Going to be awesome. Thank you, Adeline.
Thanks, Bill.
And now, Hope Moy, rounding off the northern area, the Woodlands, Willis, and now here's Hope, Conroe, Magnolia. It's like the puzzle pieces are fitting together, Hope. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Bill.
Well, let's tell people about your two offices quickly. Hope.
So I am the business development officer in the Magnolia and Conroe markets. I have 5 fantastic escrow officers, 3 in Conroe and 2 in Magnolia.
And also, you're a regular show guest, it seems
I
like.
am.
People, I get emails about your great words of wisdom all the time.
I love that. That's good to hear. Thank you.
But also, one of the roles of the business development person is to help the real, as I mentioned with Adeline, to help the realtor community. You're doing classes, all kinds of things.
Absolutely. And as we round out the year, we're going to be passing out planners and calendars and trying to do end of the year parties and, you know, wrapping up the last quarter with classes as well. So lots of stuff to come for sure.
That's one of the highlights of the end of the year for me is getting my day planner too, by the way, just saying.
I mean, me too, because I've already started planning my radio show dates for next year.
There you go. Thinking ahead as you usually do. Hope, let's tell people how to reach you.
So my number is 346-224-1908. Again, my number is 346-224-1908.
Thank you, Hope, for being with us. And now from
Thank you, Bill.
Totally different area geographically in Houston, the legendary Kevin Davidson. That's right, Sugarland, Fort Bend. He's here. He helps the real estate community in a magnificent way all the time, even when he sleeps. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you having me again. And I'm not sure I do that when I sleep.
Allegedly, we've heard. But also, one of the things, we said this last time you were on, but let's remind people, Sugarland, Stewart Title, we have a brand new location serving people.
Yeah, I represent the Sugarland and the Richmond office, but the Sugarland office did recently move. We were at the same location for over 20 years, and about 2 months ago, we're now just about a block down the road, but in a new office location.
And people seem to be enjoying it more, I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's smaller but nicer, and we're on the 10th floor. So you got to take the elevator up a little bit.
I bet you have some nice views, though.
Actually, yeah, right outside my window. It's 59's right there.
That's fun. I love watching traffic from high rises and things like that. Well, Kevin, what else should we know? You, too, are planning. You're a great planner. You have a lot of events going on every week, but are you even thinking about 2026 yet?
Oh, yeah. I can basically say ditto to everything that Hope just said. So planning out the rest of the year, events. We're going to have a big grand opening party on November 4th for the new Sugarland office, Christmas party. And then I want to mention real quick our amazing new team over at the Richmond office, which is Gracie Lagos and Melissa Caruso.
Sounds good. Get them on the show sometime or have them visit.
They're coming soon.
Sounds good. Kevin, let's tell them the phone number to reach you. Kevin Davidson.
832-654-0527. Again, 832-654-0527.
Thanks for being with us. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
She is back. May it please the court. Hannah Harmon, attorney at law with Steele, Page, and Maidley. Well, Hannah, here we are.
Hi. Glad to be back.
As we close things down, what else do you want people to know about what you're doing and how you can help them in the legal world?
Absolutely. One thing I did want to note is that although our work is primarily in Montgomery County, if anyone needs help in surrounding counties, paperwork-wise, wills, title companies, different Stewart Title offices, we're always happy to help. And so,
even in another city?
Absolutely. Even in another city, even outside of Montgomery County, anywhere in Texas, really. I'm just licensed in Texas, so we can help anywhere in Texas.
That sounds good. Now, also in your busy world, you're doing so many things, staying up to speed, reading documents, a lot of words there. But when you want to wind down and relax, is there what hobbies do you have? What do you like to do?
I love to go to MLB games. So my husband and I just took a trip to Chicago when we went to Wrigley, and then we went to Milwaukee and drove up an hour and a half and went to a Brewers game, who actually are playing each other in the playoffs right now. So I'm a big baseball fan.
I was just in Milwaukee a month ago or so, and
nice.
Was the weather just perfect there?
It was beautiful. Absolutely.
I saw where the Brewers play.
Yes, absolutely. They have the most electric baseball atmosphere that I've ever seen. The Astros have a really good one too, and I've been a lifelong Astros fan. But Milwaukee, they tailgate outside the stadium before the game, grilling bratwursts or whatever they're called.
Bratwurst?
Yes, that's what.
Yeah.
That's what.
What
it
did you
is.
call them? I like what
I
you
don't
said.
even know. I don't know what I just said. We're gonna edit that out. But
Okay.
And they play cornhole and they all hang out before the game, and then you go in and it's electric.
That
So
downtown
fun.
Milwaukee is, people don't know, it's a hidden gem.
Yes.
Fantastic. Hannah, Harmon, let's tell people if they need a will, they need real estate legal advice, your company, Steele, Page, and Madeley, let's tell them how to reach you.
Yes, sir. 936-756-1114. Again, that number is 936-756-1114.
And just next time you go to Milwaukee, just an hour, 45 minutes north, there are wonderful lakes. It's so beautiful up there. I was knocked out when I went up there.
Absolutely. I'll definitely look into that.
Check it out. And now, Francisco Martinez, Corcoran Genesis, right here, real estate, doing tremendous work. Well, Francisco, give us a parting thought, and let's tell people how to reach you again before we close things down here on the show.
They can reach me, like I said, social media or by telephone. The phone number is 713-823-5217. Parting thought, I would just say everyone here on the show, we all kind of work together to make your experience the best experience and protect you as much as possible.
And your wife's company again is, and what's the website?
All right, I'm going to pull out the website for you just so I don't get it wrong.
Because in case someone needs a hydration boost.
Yes, that's going to be VitaIVTherapy.com.
That sounds good.
Is 713-823-5217.
Francisco, thanks for being with us.
Right, thank you, Bill.
And right now, get your pen out, get your DocuSign out, sign something, because he's here, the loan signing agency. Greg Gray.
Glad to be back again.
So here you are.
One parting thought.
Parting thought.
As your listeners are starting their real estate journey, to make sure they pick the right person to help them down that road. Because picking the right realtor will help you get to the right title company. That will help you get the right people involved in your transaction so you have a great experience. And that makes a difference. And I don't know if anyone noticed the thought and the commonality of all the guests today, but we're all servants. We're all here trying to serve to make real estate better for people.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, let's tell people how they can reach you when they need help, remotely or otherwise. The loan signing agency, Greg Gray.
You can go to theloansigningagency.com or you can call 346-291-7467. That's 346-291-7467.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Bill.
And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramlett and all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance. We appreciate you listening to the show. If you want to see the show, simply go, as we make a YouTube link for the show, simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You can see the guests right here on today's show or past shows that go back hundreds of shows at stewart.com/radio, or you could even subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's called Radio Bill. That's right. You don't even have to write it down. Too easy. Radio Bill. We'll see you next week. Until then, thanks for listening.
Real estate matters every Sunday at 5 on AM 950. Feel that real estate vibe. Streaming nationwide on the iHeart app. Join the conversation. It's a real estate map. What's hot in the market?